Okay, so every now and again you buy one in and you think to yourself, should I have bought this or not? And the truth is, they're all good learning exercises, and you can come unstuck. I was pretty sure I was going to come unstuck with this one, but persistence is sometimes the way to go. So this is not really a how to fix as such, although there are going to be a couple of how to fix hints on the FT902D, which are very different from the FT901DM in the areas of display, not so much in the power spine bits and pieces, but in the display where there's been a fault here. Yes, there is. All right. Firstly, whether it's an FT901, 902, 101ZD, here's the obvious bits that have to be done. And there's a pile of caps there, some 47 mic. They come off the regulator boards and power supply boards in the rear. So as a rule, you tend to sort of get in there and replace these. Some of these were faulty, and we tested them with our little capacitor checker, and I think we did a video on that a few weeks ago. And that's how long this radio has taken, by the way. This has been a very interesting one. But a lot of lessons learnt too. So, let's not sort of carry on about it too much, because... okay, so in the back here, as you can tell, we're still sort of cleaning up a bit. The caps have all been replaced. You'll notice that the nickies that we put in there are actually smaller than the original caps, and a lot of the caps that are available now are a bit smaller. I've got another 902 here that Brendan Bryant did, and he elected, which wasn't a bad idea, to go slightly higher voltage on each cap. Well, he went quite a bit larger, and I was actually looking at the caps and the different sizes, and what Brendan did was probably the smarter way to go, to be fair. I don't want to put down what we did, but the truth is we've replaced with caps that'll pretty much do the trick and replace these beautifully. But what Brendan did just gave us a little bit extra voltage tolerance on the other 902 we've got, so good on you, Brendan. We'll probably do that next time. I'd already ordered the caps before I saw the mods you did on the other 902 you sold me about 100 years ago. Anyway, so let's get back into this. So caps, pretty much those two boards just come out, and very simple to replace these caps here. If it takes you any more than 20-30 minutes, you probably shouldn't be mucking around with it. But just things to remember: undo the voltage cord, take it out, unplug the thing, and remember these caps. Some of these caps here are 350 volts, so when you run your fingers across the board, expect to get zapped. So. Yes, discharging caps, even on these little small ones, is still not a bad idea. Because as you can see here, a lot of 250 volt, 350 volt caps there that they hold a bit of charge, and they'll give you a bit of a bite. We have had every board out of this thing, as you can see by the... you will bend these just slightly, unfortunately, and when you put them back in, they straighten up again. But every board has been out of this radio. Well, top side, sorry. Bottom side, not so much. Two reasons. One, we had an RF fault. There was an AGC fault on a board, which was a little 2SC945 transistor that cost about, 7 cents, and took me 4 hours to work out where the hell that was and what was causing the pinging of the needle, etc. And that was a simple little DC switch which was causing us trouble. Main problems were back in the power supply areas. These caps here were absolutely shot, and then we ended up with a situation where we are now, which I'll show you just where we've got to, where we turn on, and if as you'll see, we've got no display, no meter here, lighting that is. I'm just going to shoot a signal. Hang on, just bring this out of the way. Just going to shoot a signal in to receive. Okay, so there we go. We were receiving nothing before because the needle was pinging over with the AGC. Now got 0.5 of a microvolt, and we can hear it. And as we go up here, oops, sorry, not very good. Got a bit more light here. Right, let's just turn that off. Okay, sorry, it's not picking it up very well because of the lack of a globe in there at the moment. All right, so what we've got obviously the PLL's working, VCOs are all locking, everything's doing what it should do, which is great. Is it transmitting? Well, that's, I suppose, the next test. Let's have a little look. No need to even do that on a 902, by the way. That's silly me. All you need to do is just hit the tune button. Just hit the tune button. It didn't work. That'll be right. I don't think you need to be an AM or FF. Okay. Just hit the tune button. I thought that was a very simple thing to do then, but why is my not working? Let's have a look here. Okay, so we're transmitting there. Oh, I know why. It's all right. Okay, sorry. Just let me reset that. I'm going to go to, well, just for the moment, I just want to show that we're transmitting. So let's just have a little look here. Righto. Okay. 52 odd watts there, so good. That's fine. And so we know we've got transmit. We know it's on the right frequency. Still want to know why that tune button's not working. We're doing something awfully stupid here that's making that happen. And yeah, that's weird. Okay, I'm sure that worked a little bit earlier. This is why these radios are so much fun. I'm pushing it harder now because I'm so determined. Oh, goodness. Anyway, we'll have a look at that in a second and just see what's going on. But we know now that, yes, we've got transmit and we've got, obviously lots of power coming out of it. So we're happy with that. So the next thing is, what's going on with the display. Now, these chips here are a disaster. When they go, you've got a replacement. A Japanese guy's done a PIC chip that you can replace it with. But usually what happens with that, when that chip goes, you don't actually lose display like that. You normally get erratic sort of stuff happening on the display, or it just refuses to move, or it locks up, does lots of things. I'm not aware if it totally loses display. Maybe someone can comment. So one of the things that you need to do is to have a look at source supply. In this case, it's an easy one. We've got a 5-volt regulator that sits on the back here. Right on the back here. Not really getting a good shot of them. No, let's have a look around this way. There's a 5-volt regulator which I've just spun it around, and we have done some tests to find out that it doesn't put 5 volts out. Now, if I just quickly, and I mean quickly because I don't want to do this with a no heatsink on, let me just plug another one in for a second. Now, very crude, but I've just basically thrown a 7805 in there. It doesn't need to be grounded at the moment because it does have ground through its middle pin, of course. But what I want to do is just see if I supply 5 volts to this now, do I get a display? Aha, fantastic. All right, I won't do that for long because all I'm doing is this 7805 replacement that I've just got sitting here, I'm going to need to bolt that up and make sure that's in there. So this radio really had 3 or 4 separate faults. And they're no fun when you've got to sort of work your way through so many different faults, because you really have to go back to the basics and you really have to start remembering the rules of if there's no volts, then nothing's happening. So that's why you start in the power supply area, because you basically find that, okay, we've got a capacitor. In this case, we had have to look back on the other video, but we had 1 or 2 of these that were really, really bad. One was shorted, and so of course that's taking the power supply out, and the rest of them just were all over the place with values. Some weren't probably needing replacement, to be fair, but we just replaced the whole lot. So basically, the AGC fault, that's just a pig of a fault. To be honest, nobody wants that one. This radio, I can tell you what's happened with it. This is a radio where someone swapped boards out of to get another one going. So we've ended up with one of the filter boards where we had a problem, and that's come off another radio. And someone's gone switcheroo on. And look, this happens a lot with old radios. It's just what it is. My mate who got it not going and sold it on Facebook as a not going item. And, I took a bit of a risk on it, bit of a silly risk on this one. I've got to be honest, this one's probably cost more time than it's ever could be worth. But, hey, you got to learn. And sometimes you learn the hard way. But look, you know what? Sometimes there's a lot of joy in getting something going too after, you've had to spend and do the hard yards on it. All right, let's put this regulator in. I'll just come back to you. Okay, a lot better with the display, and just got to loosen up this VFO. Actually, it's just a little bit tight, but apart from that, got a little display light in it, and yeah, that's looking a lot better. Now, ideally, when I go to sideband and come back to about 7115. If we get really lucky, this thing should still, and it does. Yeah, okay, good. Just put a bit more signal into that. Good when you can actually see it now. Don't worry about my switch here, it'll give me a bit of trouble. Oh, that's better. Much better. It's all right. My switch needs a bit of a clean, actually. I can tell. Anyway, all right, let's turn that off. And we'll just... I want to try that tune button a second. See what was going on there. Let's have a look. Just make sure we've got a bit of carrier. Squelch was over here on these things somewhere. Where was it? Over here. There we go. So the squelch for your FM use. And ideally, we should get some carrier. We do. Wow. Yeah, okay. Hang on. Just got to turn my attenuator back over here. Now, I'm only getting... Let's just take that light away from there. That's causing a bit of drama. Am I getting about 56 watts or so? I know that we will improve on that very easily. Let's have a bit of a quick look. Upon further investigation, like the rest of this radio, let's have a look here. Someone's had the regulator bits, as you'll see, we'll just get a bit more light down in here. So this little board, it's a little timer board, that's all it does. And it throws the radio into transmit at full carrier for about 6 or 7 seconds. And someone's had this to bits, and either the relay is giving us trouble or the switching circuit and timer circuit in there is giving us trouble. I'm not going to worry about that right now to extend this video to anything too long. What I wouldn't mind doing is just actually hooking an antenna up and seeing if we can hear anything on here. So I'll just do that. But overall, this is looking really good. This has been a fun one, that's for sure. I'll just hook something up here. Okay, just before we chuck it on antenna, I just want to check its power output PEP. Well, it actually won't be PEP on this meter, unfortunately. Hello, 1, 2. Okay, I haven't really tuned that up. It's getting about 85 watts, so I would dare say with a bit of a tune-up, we'll get that right on about 100 watts. But yeah, no, that's looking good. All right, let's chuck an antenna on it. Let's just have a quick look. Okay, so we're getting a bit of a strong signal coming in at the moment. 7105 might be some of the boys from the Melbourne group, but oh yeah, it's Joe's group. And wonder if we're here, Joe. I'm using the oldest possible Yaesu mic ever made on the planet. I found this thing in my junk pile. This radio didn't come with a power cord or a mic, so I just had to grab something. But yeah, look, that's working nice. I don't think there's going to be much on the band. I definitely got to loosen up that VFO. It's just a little bit too tight at the moment. I mean, I'm just having a bit of a look. I don't think we'll hear much apart from Joe's net. Well, that's getting very popular. Actually, it's getting quite noisy, isn't it? Just put the noisemaker on then, but it sounds like we've got a bit of a storm coming. And I'll just go up the band a little bit. 3 Charlie mic test, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 3 Charlie mic test. Yeah. Okay. She's a worker. My goodness, what a pain this has been. But I suppose, as I said, you got to do them to learn. And I can't put the covers back on it yet. As much as I'm going to finish this video. Sorry, the tune button we've got to get back to. That's sorry, I was having a listen then. Just got to get back and fix this tune button, which will just be that little relay or the little timer circuit's got some issues. I swore that worked before, but no, it couldn't have. I've worked on 2 of these today. I've got the one I got from Brendan and this one that came down from Melbourne, came up from Melbourne, not working. That was bought as a bit of a lucky dip. So both of them are now perfect. Brendan's, by the way, didn't need much at all. Just a couple of little things I wanted to do to it. But he'd already done all my hard work, so that was good. This one, oh, never again. Anyway, that doesn't matter. As I said, you're always learning. Yes, I'll just do a final little calibration on this thing, but for where it started to where it is now, It's good to get these old bits of history going. Unfortunately, one of these will go because we don't need two of them. I bought the other one as a bit of a challenge, or this one as a bit of a challenge to get it going. To be honest, because we've recapped both of them, wouldn't matter which one we kept. They're both very similar conditions, so just nice to get them both going. Well, to be fair, this one hasn't got the tune button working on it yet. So, actually, the more I look at that, yeah, I think that relay in there, I'll have to look at the circuit, but I think that relay, we're not even getting the light coming up or anything. It could be voltage supply to it, you know, as I keep telling you. Check volts, check volts, check volts. You know, sort of whenever you're working on this stuff, make sure there's supply to the area first, and then, you know, start working it out from there. All right, all the best. Sorry there hasn't been as many videos lately. I'm still just struggling a bit, but just thought I'd get this one up. I probably won't post this today. I'll post this in a day or two, so if you see it come up, I tend to post a lot of the videos when I'm sort of crook in bed. I take the time out to just list them up, and so sometimes the videos are done a few days before, and I sort of get around to it. But gee, I'll tell you what, that's definitely some storm activity that we're looking at there. It really is. Alright, okay, one FT902D, very rare little radio these days. You find 901s, but 902s are getting a bit harder to find. So we'll chuck it up at some stage, and at least you know it's recapped and new regulators and everything else that we've been talking about. And maybe a tune switch working. We'll see if we can get that going. That'll be my little job before I put the covers back on. 73s, all the best from VK3CM. Please subscribe, really helps us, and certainly just was having the stats the other day. What was it? I think it was 9% of people that watch our videos subscribe. So, yeah, yep, definitely. Please, if you watch our videos, hit that subscribe button. The likes, I don't care. I mean, you know, you either like them or you don't. That's fine. So I think that's personal choice. But certainly the subscribe, we really appreciate. All the best. 73s. Cheers.